Well, good afternoon. I call this hearing to order. Today, the committee will hold an oversight hearing on accessing USDA Rural Development Programs in Native communities. More than 88 programs administered by 16 different federal agencies target rural economic development in the United States. The USDA administers the greatest number of rural development programs and has the highest average of program funds going directly to rural counties. According to the USDA's own agriculture census in 2012, just over 72,000 farms and ranches are owned and operated by Native Americans. The same USDA census found that among minority communities, Native Americans operate the second highest number of farms and ranches, with the highest concentration being in the southwest United States in the states of Oklahoma and North Carolina. In my own home state of Wyoming, tribal members work alongside their neighbors, growing and producing many of the agricultural products that feed and clothe American families every day. Again, according to the USDA Agriculture Census, American Indians and Alaska Native-owned farms account for approximately $33 billion of market value for the products that they sell. Yet many tribes are located in some of the poorest rural communities in the United States. Approximately 30% of American Indians and Alaska Natives live in rural communities, and nearly 40% of rural tribal jobs are dependent on agriculture. Despite these numbers, the committee continues to hear that tribes lack access to USDA rural development programs, and many times, as they say, the proof is in the numbers. As an example, in her most recent written testimony before the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry Subcommittee on Rural Development and Energy, Lisa Mensah, who is the Undersecretary for Rural Development, the USDA, stated that since 2009, USDA Rural Development has helped more than 1.1 million rural families buy, refinance, and maintain homes with $137.5 billion in rural housing service investments. However, only $1.3 billion from that period went to providing rural housing in tribal areas. This is just less than 1% of the rural housing service investments going toward Native communities. The comment we hear from tribes regarding rural development is that when a tribe identifies the right program to address their need, the process is a bureaucratic nightmare. Despite its $212 billion loan portfolio, USDA has only invested $3.1 billion with tribes. With so many tribes located in rural areas, it's important for this committee to understand how USDA Rural Development is working to conduct outreach with tribes, not only in the agriculture area, but also in rural business development, housing, and utility services. I'm particularly interested in hearing from USDA on how they can better market and provide outreach for their programs and opportunities to tribal communities. Why aren't tribes accessing the resources? What are the barriers, and how can Congress and others assist? Before we hear from the witnesses, I would like to turn to Senator Tester for his opening.